Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to European Truck Simulator, and welcome back to Kokkola in Finland. I'm probably saying that wrong. I probably am. I don't mean to. I don't want to. But man, there's so many different ways to say words. Sounds like a simple thing to say. Of course there's plenty of ways to say words. There really are. Wow, that is loud in my headphones. Let me get that turned down. So we are in Kokkola, Finland, and we are heading right now to pick up our job. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's a little bit after 10. Brake is off, put her in gear, lift axles are up. Here we go. It's a little bit after 10, and this is exactly where we stopped at the end of the last episode. I haven't slept, I haven't put fuel in, I haven't done anything. But this is what I figured. We're headed down to, well, we're gonna go pick up a job right now with our owned trailers, and then we're gonna start heading south. And this is, I think, going to be the last trip with these tandem trailers. Well, I take that back. Let me be correct. It's not a tandem, it's a B-slider. I believe this is going to be our last job with the B-slider because I don't think you can use these anywhere outside of Scandinavia, and we're heading into the beyond the Baltics area. So we're going to go ahead and pick up a job, and I think we may be able to get there in one episode. We may not. Was that a different truck when we pulled in? Was that a different truck parked there? I'll have to check. Man, that would be cool. If somebody had a script that actually, like, spawned in different parked trucks. Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Let me see. We're going around the roundabout here. Beautiful. So we're going to pick this up. We're going to start heading south. We are going to have to sleep. And we may have to get fuel. But I figured it's daylight. You know, and we always end up driving at night. So let's go ahead and try not to hook that over the... not too bad. Not too bad. That's what that little bit of pavement is there for, I'm told. So it's daylight, and let's just do it. Let's just do it. And we'll see how far we get before we have to sleep. And probably when we pull into sleep, we'll go ahead and stop and get fuel at the same time as well. Get over the line there. Beautiful. We'll get fuel at the same time, and then we'll just head down to southern Finland. Now, we have a garage down there, and I just bought another trailer. I saw some trailers dropped in the Steam Workshop. So I got that mod going, and I bought one of those trailers because we have so much money and we never spend it on anything. And it's just a basic, like, big box trailer. So what we'll do is when we get down to southern Finland, we'll pick that up and we'll take a job to go across the... Well, that's bigger than a fjord. What would you call that? Is that what? I guess that's a sea. I don't know. But whatever it is, we're going to take the ferry across. I get a little bit gripped when we take tandems, or in this case B-sliders, on a ferry. Had a bad experience once. A bad experience, I tell you. But I feel like with just a regular box, we'll be fine in the ferry. So we'll pick that job up at our garage. Well, we'll pick the trailer up at our garage in southern Finland. Then we'll get a job, and we'll take the ferry across and head down, finally, into the Beyond the Baltics DLC area. It's been months. It really has. It's been a few months since that came out, and we're just finally getting in there. But you know what? That's how we do it here at the Portable Gamer. We're in no hurry. We're in no hurry at all. So how's everybody doing? It's Sunday for me. You're going to see this on Monday. I hope you have had a fantastic holiday weekend. If that is a holiday you celebrate. If it is not a holiday you celebrate, I hope you just had a fantastic weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. Nothing went wrong. Nothing went wrong. I don't know how old you are. I don't know where you're at in your life. But you get to a certain point in your life where when nothing goes wrong, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know what I mean? You might already be there. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Sometimes things not being worse is as good as it can get. And it wasn't quite that bad. It was a kind of a nice weekend. But chill. Nothing really happened. It wasn't a spectacular weekend. So, you know, so it goes. So it goes. I feel like I've been here before. I remember this little area. Yeah, I have been here before because I can see that it's highlighted. So we've been here before. Because every time I drive the truck, for about the past 6 months, every time I drive the truck, I'm recording it. Or, to say it from another angle, I'm only playing to make videos. I'm not doing any like off-camera trucking, which is also weird. But you know what? I was really when I see my Steam store, or my Steam page, I guess it's not the Steam store, but the Steam UI, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. When you go to your library, you can see how many hours you've played a game. When I see how many hours I played The Division, I was hooked on that game. Man, I was hooked bad. But I beat the addiction. I uninstalled it. It wasn't, it wasn't going anywhere. My characters were all maxed out. All I'm going to do is play the same missions over and over, and once Division 2 dropped, the servers for Division 1 were just dead. There was nobody in there. So it was just going to be solo. Who wants to do solo missions they've done 100 times, do them one more time so you can get some div tech and upgrade your whatever when you're already maxed out anyway. So I uninstalled that business. But before I did, I played the hell out of that game. And now I'm focused on iRacing, so I just really don't have time. I mean, I love all the gaming that I do, and from a certain perspective, all gaming is pretty casual. We're doing this all for fun. This is, even if you're making money gaming, if you are, man, bless. That is awesome. But whether you're making money or not, whether you're doing it for a living or not, we all just game for fun. We really do. So it's for me to say, well, sometimes I record on camera, and then other times I record just for fun. It's all for fun. It is all for fun, whether I'm recording or not. Beverages, and we're taking this down to Lahti. Lahti, how far? 398 kilometers. We might be able to make this one trip. That's not too far. And our last ATS video was about 45 minutes. So yeah, let's, you know what? Let's save a little time right there. Less talking, more rocking. Right, lift axles are still up. I'm going to open this just for a second. Yeah, about 18 minutes, 20 minutes. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Here we go. And we will have to sleep, but that's an instantaneous thing. You pull in, you hit the button. It's not like you actually have to sleep. That'd be an interesting mod. Now I'm thinking. Now my wheels are turning. That'd be an interesting mod. If you had, in the United States, it's Department of Transportation is who oversees safety for interstate trucking, long-haul truckers, that sort of thing. So you could probably code a mod. Yeah, of course you could. You could just base it on CPU clock time or system time. But you could code a mod where in ETS, instead of pulling over and hitting a button and you're, hey, sir. Instead of hitting a button and you're instantly, you've slept for 12 hours or 15 hours or whatever it is, that you can't move the truck for 15 hours of real time, right? So if it's 10 o'clock in the morning when you pull into sleep in game, then you're not going to be able to drive that truck again till midnight or whenever in real life. It's a bad idea. It's a terrible idea. Nobody would do that. That's just dumb. What am I thinking? It's a novel idea is what it is. It serves absolutely no purpose. But it would be, it would certainly lend itself to realism, if that's what you're into. So what else is going on? I leveled up to my A license in iRacing, which is fascinating because I've only been back on the service for a couple weeks. And when I restarted my profile after having been away from it for several months, I realized that when I got off the service last fall, I guess, a little bit longer than several months, like last November, when I got off the service, my safety rating and my I rating were both in absolute free fall, and I was panicking and really worried that I was going to lose my C license, which is what I had at the time. Now, since then, via Reddit and Google, of course, I found and then sort of modified and made it my own. I found this trick where you qualify well, then start from the pit and just stay behind all the carnage. And if you can race clean and not put a wheel off, which I can do, you will add to your safety rating virtually every race, like in big chunks. And if you're a good driver, and if you can get caught up with some of these other cars, other drivers, then you'll add to your I rating as well. Now, my I rating typically doesn't dip a lot when I start from the pit, but if you don't want to lose any I rating at all, you definitely want to start with the pack and risk damage, risk losing a little safety rating, but you don't want to turn laps that are significantly slower than the other cars. You want to pass cars, basically. You want to pass other cars and other drivers, particularly if they have a higher I rating than you. That's how you improve your I rating. So it's like you can work on one or the other. It's tricky to work on both unless you're a very gifted, very fast driver, which at the moment I am not. So I figured out that trick and how to bring my safety rating up really anytime I want, and my I rating has been coming up as well in a very deliberate but very steady manner. And something that I've read over and over when it comes to iRacing is a lot of people saying you got to stop playing it like a video game. You have to play it as you would drive a racing career. And the way that works is if you get into a race car, you are not going to go out and take ridiculous chances and wreck the thing. If somebody told me, here's a race car and here's a race license and you can drive this race car in a race. You can start up front, but you're probably going to be in a bad crash. Or you can start from the back and learn a lot, get good experience, etc. I'm most definitely going to take option B, because the idea of being in a crash, even when you're in a roll cage, the helmet, all the safety equipment and everything, that sounds crazy to me. I don't want to be in a car crash. But because it's a video game, it's like, whatever, not a big deal. So, we try to apply so much realism to our sim gaming in farming and in trucking and right? So I'm trying to apply the same realism in iRacing and do what I would do if I really were driving that car in real life. And I find that my results are significantly better. My safety rating is up. I have an A license now. I can race really in any race that I want other than pro races, but there are very few of those. And I wouldn't do that anyway, because slow it down here. I wouldn't do that anyway. It'd be very disrespectful to the people around me. I'm not in any way qualified to do that. But I can do certainly C races all day long. I can do B races now. I'm hit or miss with those. I'm not ready for A races yet, but I could do them if I wanted to. So what that means is I can get into any class that I want, any race that I want, and race it safely from the back. Now, I do pass cars. When I say I start from the back, I don't want it to sound like I'm just creeping. I'm not creeping. I'm driving the car as fast as I can, and I am getting faster. And I do, I'll qualify 7th or 8th, start from the pit in a field of 20, and end up finishing 9th or 10th. So I either pass those cars or they crash out. But I'm getting there. And I guess I got off track. That never happens. I got off track, but I guess what I'm getting at is something that I've read over and over in forums and on Reddit. Things that you read about iRacing over and over, people saying, this is what real racing is like. You do not get proficient on a track within 10 laps of being on it for the first time. It takes hundreds or thousands of laps, climbing the ladder from go-karts up to Miatas, up to GT4, GT3, GTE. It's a process, and it just takes time for most people. There are very gifted people that are just savants, but for the most part, it just takes time, a lot of time. And the great thing is, I love driving, I love racing, so I don't really mind putting that time in. But your safety rating and your I rating are not supposed to be, trophies. Loading a tile. They're not supposed to be trophies. They're not supposed to be things that you get just to get. They are supposed to be accurate reflections of how safe a driver you are and how skilled a driver you are. And if you let them be that, right? Does that make sense? Like, my I rating right now is a little bit lower than I would like it to be, but I'm not as fast as I want to be. So my I rating is an accurate reflection of how good a driver I am, as it should be. So when I'm in a race and people look at my I rating, they know, right? That's what it's for. It's not something that's designed to be gamed or hacked. it's something that's designed to give an accurate reflection of how good a driver you are, which in the case of iRacing is slightly different than how safe a driver you are. You can be a very safe driver who's not very fast. You can be a very fast driver who's not very safe. And I suppose, for statistical purposes, you can also be a very fast driver who's very safe. I saw a guy yesterday, Jesus, in a C race, in a Miata race. He had a 4.99 safety rating, which is as high as you can get, and it actually stacks off camera. So if you have a 4.99 and you improve, you have a cushion. Like, the highest that it displays is 4.99, but it can continue increasing, like, off camera. You know what I mean? So that guy could have been a 6 or a 7. And he also had like a 6,500 I rating. And of course, he won. He qualified like 2 seconds off of second, 2 seconds in front of second, and just absolutely ran away with it. The guy was, I assume it was a guy. He was amazing. So there are people that are both fast and safe. And then, of course, the fourth configuration, you know it, are people that are not very fast and not very safe. And hopefully I'm not in that category. Right. Lift axles down. Driving pretty safe right now in our truck, tell you what. So that's what's going on with iRacing. Got my A license, and you know, it is a trophy. It is a trophy, and it always, those sorts of things always will be trophies, and it's difficult to see it. I'm trying to think of an example. I can't think of an example. Something that we deal with in everyday life that's like, you know, it is an accomplishment, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. It's sort of just a fact, you know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but you know what I mean. The sort of thing that just happens. It's like a byproduct of doing things the right way or whatever. You know, it's there you go. There's an example. Your insurance company sends you an email and says your rates are coming down because you haven't had a claim in whatever, you know, X months or X years. Okay, great. You know, you didn't aim for that. You were just doing what you were supposed to be doing, and then you got that anyway. But it's not like every day you were, you know, checking your stats. Oh man, one of these days I'm going to qualify for that insurance discount. It was just something you did because it's the right thing to do, or the smart thing, or the safe thing, or whatever. There you go. There's an example. So that's what's going on with iRacing. And, you know, I'm talking about iRacing a lot because there's really not a lot going on in SimWorld. There's really not. I feel like it's kind of a lull right now. We're in the doldrums. But, I mean, we still have so many good sims to play with. And this next big drop for ATS, the 1.35 drop is supposed to be, I keep hearing now, supposed to be pretty big. And there's going to be new DLC, and there's going to be this, and there's going to be that, and it's like, man, these people just, they never stop. Which, it cuts both ways. It's cool that they never stop. There's always fun stuff to play with. There's always new stuff to play with. But the downside to that is you're always breaking my bonds. And, you know, I know they're not doing that on purpose. Ooh, going a little bit fast. Let's slow it down right now. I know they're not breaking my mods on purpose, but they're breaking my mods. So we'll see. I do have, no, I think I turned it back on. I had the automatic auto beta turned on in Steam for ETS and ATS. I turned it off momentarily for ETS when I rolled back, when there was the whole sort of disconnect between 1.34 and Pro Mods. But I believe I have it on automatic now, which means if they roll forward to 1.35 for testing beta before it goes public, I'll have it, and that'll crash Pro Mods, of course. So I should probably remember to turn that off. I'll forget, of course. Let's sleep. In fact, right up around the corner here, I see a bed. So let's pull in there and see if we can sleep. Looking good. Concentrating. If I'm quiet, I'm concentrating. Or, occasionally, sometimes I've just run out of things to say. That happens too. Right. Let's see. It's on the wrong side. We've done this before. We have to stop here. We are falling asleep. We have too far to go. We have to pull in here. And we've done this before. And I believe what we did is we pulled up on the... Oh dear. Tile. I believe we pulled up... Yeah. We pulled up here. Tried to be sort of out of the way. Drop the trailers. Yeah. That's what we did. Get over here a little closer to the curb. Right. So, put it there. Dropping. Dropping. And then we're going to go right over here. Square it off a little bit. Try to be a good truck driver. Right about there. Right. Put her in neutral. Parking lights on. Set the brake. Engine off. All right, let's get some sleep. Here we go. Fantastic. We're still pretty far north, so it's 1:30 in the morning, but it's not quite dark yet. All right. Lights on. Turn that off. You want to try to do it? Yeah. Let's try to do it in cab. I don't do enough of that. And this is why. What am I going to hit over here? That sign, I think. Right. So first, I got to come out here. That. Right over here. You know I have another mirror. I know I have another mirror. I just never use it. It would probably help. All right. All right. About right? Yeah. Feels like it's about right. Beautiful. Right. Get her hooked up. Right. Says, all right. It says lift axle is still up. We're going to have to swing wide to get out of here. And I don't know how far we have to go, but we'll just go till we get there. And we've got enough fuel. I was going to get fuel, but we've got enough. Not worried about it. Traffic is good over there. No, it's not. It was. Till a second ago, it was. Right. Traffic is good over there. Good over there. There we go. Beautiful. So that all worked out well. And I think I saw the last sign that said we had 170K to go to our town. And yeah, this says 160. Okay, so that's still a good ways. I was hoping we didn't sleep and go through all that and then come around a bend and get to our delivery. That would be no good. I don't know what it is about airplanes going over in... I think you see them more in Pro Mods. No. I don't know if you agree or not, but I feel like I see more airplanes in Pro Mods. And I really like that. I don't know what it is about that detail. It really resonates with me. And there is... it's somewhere in Germany, I want to say. In the Pro Mods part of Germany, there is a massive airport. Gigantic. And it's a frame rate killer. It really is, but it's a beautiful feature, and it's just those details, man. It's just the details. I don't know where this game is going. I don't know if we're getting to European Truck Simulator 3. I don't know. And I think about games, and I think, is this game popular enough that they're going to license an engine, Unreal or something, and make a proper ETS3? Or are they going to do what Farm Sim did and just put it on the same old engine, just reskin it? I don't know. And I don't know if the game is popular enough, and I don't know if it makes them enough money. I mean, certainly they're active enough with the game. They're releasing DLC constantly. They're always patching the game. It seems like there's enough going on with the game that maybe that would justify an ETS3, the development cost, millions of euros to develop ETS3. Maybe it is worth it. I don't know. Or maybe they're barely making money now, and there's just not enough, there's no way to justify ETS3. I don't know. But I can't imagine what it would look like if they did put it on something like Unreal. What are we up to now? Unreal 4? I don't know. Or I don't know. It could be a different engine. At first guess, I would say Unreal 4, but it could be a different engine would be more suitable for Truck Sim. I don't know. What features would they put in it? What would it look like? As built up as the game is now, are they stuck with just continuing to expand it? Look at, for Dovetail, look at the Train Simulator franchise. And that game is dated as hell. I actually bought Train Simulator 19 on Steam and refunded it a few minutes later with graphics absolutely maxed out, everything on Ultra. That it looks like an 8-bit game. If you really like Train Simulator, if you really like that franchise, I do apologize. I'm not trying to insult you or anything, but it looks absolutely 1990s. It's terrible. And put that down. And I'm guessing because Train Simulator 19, they just released that. That's the latest version in the franchise, and I'm guessing the reason they do that is because so many people have so much DLC. So apply that same methodology to Euro Truck, that for them to go to create ETS3 as an example, put it on Unreal, all this would be lost. All the DLC, pro mods, everything would need to be redone. And if you have ETS2, if you have all these DLC, they just don't work anymore. They're just gone, and you got to buy them all over again. And I don't know, spending a few $100 over 3 years, 4 years, it's not nothing. It's still $300 or $400, €300 or €400, but it's spread out. You ease the pain. But if you want to jump right back in, $300 or $400 up front. Although to be fair, let me be my own debating partner here. To be fair, if they did release something like ETS3, there wouldn't be a ton of DLC on day one, so you could ease into it again. But I guess what I'm saying is the game would be smaller, right? Because the game is so big right now, and if they created ETS3, as big as that game could be on day one, it would, in a way, be so much smaller because it wouldn't have the mods, it wouldn't have the DLC, and it wouldn't have pro mods. So I'm curious if they'll ever do that. Or, like I said, it could be that their economic model at this point supports continuing to develop DLC for this game, but the expense and the investment of essentially creating a new game from the ground up is just not economically viable, and it's not going to happen. I don't know. I don't have any insight into the inner workings of SCS, but I wonder how much longer this game can be sort of tolerable to our eyes, because I suspect that if either SCS or another company today released a brand new truck simulator, brand new from the ground up on a new engine, on a new rendering technology, new shaders, everything. You know what I'm talking about. Game changer. AAA, next gen game, and it's a truck simulator. If we put it side to side with this one, it would make you want to cry. This game looks good because we love it, but if you saw this game compared to what we know a next gen truck sim would look like, terrible. Looks like something from the 90s. If that's how we feel now and we love this game, How are we going to feel in another few years? How are we going to feel looking at what we're looking at right now in 2021, 2022, which is really not that long from now. I mean, it seems like a long time, but we're coming up on 2019 being, what, a third over, almost half over. So you get what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll just let it run its course. Like the Train Simulator franchise, just keep it going, but never really push it forward. And maybe that's just not viable. I don't know. It's fun to speculate about. It's fun to think about. These are all the things that are happening around us all the time, all over the world, and we know that, but we don't really know that. Man, I've been loading some tiles today. This is all on my M2 drive as well, my NVMe drive. So when it does that, I don't know. I mean, I got plenty of RAM and I got plenty of fast storage. I just don't get it sometimes why it does that. But it does not crash anymore. I don't know if you remember, but we were, oh man, this was like 8 months ago, 9 months ago. We were having some crashes and some stuttering. It was making me crazy. But we got it all sorted out. And got it sorted out in the weirdest way because I don't exactly know what fixed it. That's always fun. Because if it ever starts happening again, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what I did. Right, here's our town. And now our town where our garage is right down the road. So what I might do is the same thing I did in ATS. In ATS, we were in Klamath Falls. And there's no option to buy a garage in Klamath Falls. But there was an option to buy a garage in Medford. So what I did was just deadheaded over to Medford and bought a garage there. We do not own a garage in, try to say the name right, Lahti. We don't own a garage here, but we do own a garage in a town. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. I was so hard on the brakes right there. Oh, man. For it to happen at the end of an episode is just the worst. What is going on? Okay. For it to happen at the end of an episode is the worst. Because at that point, it's like, do I start again? Or do I just, I don't know, try to edit it out, pretend it didn't happen, sir? All right. This intersection, we sort of made a bit of a tits up here. But we got through it. No damage, no tickets. Right. Okay, and here's our town. Oh, man. I don't ever like making contact in Truck Sim. I don't like touching things, bumping things, scraping things, whether it gives me a ticket or not, clipping curbs, mounting the curb, as they say. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But I hate it more when I'm recording. Because then, like I said, you lose everything you just did. I mean, I don't know. I've seen YouTubers just like cut it off. Middle of a video, they just cut it off. Not a stream, like a recorded video. No outro, no goodbye, no nothing. It just like cuts off. And then sometimes the next video, they're like, oh yeah, my internet cut out or power failure, whatever. Most YouTubers don't do that. Most YouTubers will like make the effort to go ahead and fix it and make it right for you, but sometimes no. Oh, you know what? I can see up ahead of us there on the mini-map, I can see there is a garage in this town, so we'll just go ahead and buy that one. We have plenty of money, and then we can just start here from next week. What I'll do is I'll buy that garage, I will transfer that trailer over, and then we'll just pick it up from this town rather than the next town. Oh, this truck is a little underpowered for these beast sliders. Man, I was just talking about how we got rid of that stuttering, but we got a little stuttering going on here. Let me check something. What's our weight? 37 tons. Okay, that's not nothing. I think the way the jobs spawn, I think they give them to you a little heavier when you've got like tandems or in this case the B slider. I think they, like, it may say in this case, just as an example, it might say like 25 tons, you know. But then when you pick it up, it's more because you picked it up with a different trailer than the one that you were originally supposed to pick it up with, or whatever. You know what? It's been a good episode, and I'm going to take one swing at this, and then we're calling it. don't think I got it. I don't think I got it. I don't think I can get it in there far enough. Ooh! Oh, but we did. Just got to back up like 2 feet. There it is. Fantastic. Right. Parking lights on. Set the brake. Engine off. Let's see how we did. Beautiful. We're on time. No damage. We didn't drive very far. 585. Yeah, these promotions are going to be few and far between, taking these shorter trips. There you go. Let me show you this trailer I got, and we'll call it Trailer Manager. So we are right down here. This is the Napin. Yeah, the Napin. Yeah. I didn't paint it. It doesn't really look good. Come here. It doesn't really look good with paint because it keeps the logo. Right? Nah, it doesn't look very good. And I don't have a skin for it, so I just left it like that. But anyway, we'll be using this next week. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator 2. We'll see you next time. Take care now.